Valve have been very supportive of the modding community for a very long time now. Games like Counter-Strike, Portal, and Team Fortress 2 all started out as Half-Life 2 mods, which came from Half-Life 1, which was a mod for Quake, technically speaking. So Valve have really just been at the center of game modding for over 20 years now, but unfortunately, this has changed recently. So there's two popular mods, Portal 64, which brings Portal to the Nintendo 64, and Team Fortress 2 Source 2, and hear me out, this will be a little bit confusing. It ports Team Fortress 2 to the Source 2 engine using Sandbox. Can you see this allergy to the number 3 here? Anyways, both projects have received DMCA claims from Valve, which is basically just a legal notice that tells the projects that they need to shut down and not exist anymore. And this is really out of character for Valve. It's a company that has consistently supported fan-made recreations. You have Black Mesa, for example, which basically got all the Half-Life 2 assets and shoved them into the gameplay and level design of the original 1998 Half-Life. And it just made the game relevant again, and it looks great so the next generation of gamers can actually have a bit more fun. Before I continue, I want to make it clear that, in my opinion, Valve isn't to blame for this situation, and that they aren't necessarily the villain in this scenario either. Hear me out, and let me explain. So Portal 64 uses something called libultra, which is a proprietary library taken from Nintendo. The developers were just simply not technically meant to have this at all. It's Nintendo's intellectual property, and if Valve endorses a project like this, they're basically supporting the use of Nintendo's proprietary IP. And while Nintendo might not sue the small developer that made the project, Valve, being a much larger company, could potentially face legal action from Nintendo. And we know that Nintendo isn't afraid of doing that. They have copyright struck so many creators in the past. So, the project's developer is trying to use something else. It's called libdragon, which is basically just an open source version of libultra, and that would actually save the project. Valve hasn't responded to them yet, so we don't really know what's going to happen there. Hopefully, we could see a really cool project come back to life. Now, with TF2 Source 2, things are a little different. So, first of all, the project actually had stopped development already because Sandbox, which is the Source 2 platform that was being used to make Team Fortress 2 Source 2, I told you this would be confusing, they made some major changes to the engine, and it just broke half the game. So none of the code is actually usable right now. So they already paused development, meaning that regardless of Valve's actions, nothing would have changed. And then another issue is that Valve's IP, right? Team Fortress 2 belongs to Valve. It's their copyright, it's their brand, it's their product. And by creating an upgraded version, those small developers, even though their intentions are great, they're creating a competitor product. And Valve doesn't want competition for TF2. Even though they haven't bothered with the game for 5 years, it has a huge active community. And Valve just makes a ton of money from that still. And Valve don't want to lose money, so it makes sense for them to want to stop the project. I mean, like, it's possible that Valve could be working on Team Fortress 2, the heavy update, or Team Fortress 3, but we all know that that probably won't happen. They've abandoned the game. So in the end, it sucks to see these projects go. A ton of time and effort been put into them, obviously, and Valve have basically just stomped on that. But it's slightly understandable on why, although it sucks. But hey, they might turn around at some point and we'll see the projects come back. Hopefully. I would like to hear your thoughts on this, so feel free to leave a comment. If anything changes, I'll let you know. And thanks for watching. I'll see you around.